We've been getting businesses featured into media publications over the past 6 years. And one question that we often get from prospects as well as customers is, how do we find the right media publications to reach out to? In this video presentation, you will discover 2 simple ways to do so.
There are 2 ways to connect with the media. Traditionally, PR people, we mainly use email addresses. We use our email inboxes to reach out to the media. But with social media, really, there's multiple ways in which we can reach out to them, right? And one way, which is not really done very much, is LinkedIn. I would say to do both for best results. And I'm going to give you a flow chart to help you see how you can build that relationship with the media. So the first thing to ask yourself is whether you have their email address, right? If you have their email address, then you can send the page invite or release, whichever format it is, works the same way. Send it directly to their email. Follow up 2 to 3 times. Usually we say something like, hey, how are you? Hoping to follow up on this email. Are you open to interviews? Are you open to come down? Are you open to experience the product? We will send like maybe 2 to 3 times of varied messages like that. We want to keep our follow-up very short, like 1 or 2 lines in our follow-up emails. We don't want it to be too long. Because lengthy email kind of gets media lost. You already have your pitch in the first email. So when you follow up, you want to just give a very short, quick way to grab their attention, right? And let's say if you see that you are pitching to the media on a current affairs kind of a topic, there's a new development to the topic. You can also use that in your follow-up, like, hey, there's been a new development or new news discusses this. I can comment about this, for example, right? But because PR is a very trial and error process, so you try other media or another angle if you do not get a response, right? So let's say you're pitching to Business Times. Business Times doesn't pick up your story. You can pitch to maybe Money FM instead, or you tweak your angle a bit. If tweaking your angle doesn't make sense, then you have to rework your angle or go for the next angle. So it's very important to be able to review your pitching to see what are the issues with it. Maybe go back to our earlier sessions on what makes a strong pitch, right? And also our checklist on what makes a strong pitch to see are areas that maybe didn't work out so well. Was it too promotional? What were the issues and how can you improve on that? Then you try again. Okay, so this is in the event that you have their email address. If you don't have their email address, you can connect with them via LinkedIn to say, hey, I read your article, blah, blah, blah. I loved it, I hope to connect with you. If they connect with you, then you say, by the way, are you open to stories on this topic, this industry? I am a founder of this company and I can share more about this, right? So that's your follow-up with them. If they're open to it, then you can ask them for their email and you can email them directly, right? Then it goes back to the landing page and follow-up process. But even if you have their email or whether you have or not, right, you should still connect with them on LinkedIn if they're on LinkedIn. And sometimes what I'm seeing now is that editors and journalists are quite open and quite regular in sharing content and connecting with people on LinkedIn because it helps them get story ideas. It helps them see who's out there, right? So connect with them via LinkedIn, regardless, build that relationship with them and continually share content on LinkedIn, commenting on current affairs. Whatever content that you have reached out to the media with via email can also be repurposed into content for LinkedIn. So don't waste the content that you have already put in effort to do, and continually share that, continually engage with your community, your audience, with the media as part of your audience that you want to reach out to. So this is something that you shouldn't neglect, right? That social media outreach as well, because I have a friend, she runs a dental clinic, and during the period where there was a bit of discussion about 4-day work week, she actually shared about the 4-day work week. She shared about how her clinic was implementing it. As a result, a Straits Times correspondent actually saw her sharing on LinkedIn and then asked if she could be interviewed. She was interviewed, she was photographed, and then quite a big feature came out in Sunday Times as a result. So don't do vary your approach. Focus on building that relationship apart from sending out pictures. Like, how can you better connect with people that way? Right. So this is the format in which you can use. Okay. So along with the PR process, I want to remind you of this slide that I showed in an earlier session right at the start of our program, which is that to give you a reminder that PR is an extremely trial and error process, right? If you get media interested, that's great. You facilitate that media interview experience, you provide them with what they need, and then your story gets published or it's a live interview, whichever that process is. If there's no response, you really need to experiment, you really need to try again, like how I mentioned earlier.
We regularly share tips, tricks, and tactics to help businesses build the most impactful reputation and attract more investors, customers, and partners. So, if you're interested in this, please hit the subscribe button below.